Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. First of all, I have to say I am quite fascinated by the way AI tools are evolving. We started with AI tools that could answer questions, then they became capable of solving mathematical and engineering problems. And now we are seeing something even more fascinating and interesting. AI tools that can actually create new problems for us to practice. Surprising? Let's answer that. One such example is GPAI. And although GPAI is no longer completely free, it has some very interesting capabilities that you can explore absolutely free of cost. What makes this practically interesting is that it isn't limited to one particular audience. Whether you are an FSC student, an undergraduate student, a teacher, a university faculty member, or even a researcher, there are some genuinely useful applications here. So rather than simply talking about it, let's actually see how it works. First things first, you can reach out to this tool using the URL gpai.app. Once you reach here, you can see that it is saying that it could be a solver for engineering, for mathematics, for chemistry and physics. So literally it can solve anything that you can ask it to do. So as you can see, there are a couple of options available in front of us. For example, it can solve problems, it can create visuals for you. In today's video, we would be talking about the solver and the problem generator. So first of all, let's explore the facility of GPAI problem generator. So what is GPAI problem generator and why it is so useful? The basic idea is extremely simple. Suppose you have a numerical problem in your textbook, or rather, there are some numericals given by your teacher or your instructor, and she or he has asked you to solve them. But now you want another problem of approximately the same type and difficulty so that you can practice the concept again. Suppose you can solve the problem that has given by your teacher, but the teacher has asked you to prepare some other questions similar to that in order to prepare for your quiz or for your examinations. Let's take an example, the visual example. So here are four different numericals that are in front of you and that your teacher has asked you to solve them and prepare numericals like these to for your quiz or for your exams. Now you have solved the numericals, but you are worried about the similar questions that might come in your exam or the paper. So here the facility of GPAI problem generator steps in. It can generate numericals like these within a couple of moments for you to solve and practice them. So let's see how it works. First of all, it is asking you to upload the slides or the document that you want to upload. So these are the numericals that I have shown you. So we have given it as a prompt and allow it to upload it. And once the original problem has been identified by the GPAI, we can ask GPAI to generate a variation of these numericals. So it has successfully uploaded this document as its main prompt. And now we have asked it to generate the variations. Let me again be very clear. By variations, we mean the variations of the question that has been given by you, by your instructor, or for example, within the book. So for in the first screen, it is asking you to verify that are these the four questions that you have uploaded. In fact, I have shown you that these are the numericals that we have given it as an input, or for example, given by the teacher. So let's click the continue button and see what it does. So if the origin questions can pertain to any different field you like, for example, it can be from physics, from chemistry, or anything, the GPAI would solve that in a spur of the moment. So it has, once you have verified the questions, now it is saying that is this the question that you have entered? And for example, you say yes. So let's see how this window works and what are the answers or what are the explanations that are given on this particular page. So first things first, I'm clicking the down arrow in order to go down. So this was the first numerical and it has comprehensively solved this first numerical. Now, in the right-hand portion of this particular screen, it is asking you what kind of variation of this numerical do you want. Do you want the variation to be of the same type? Just the values would be changed. So what is in the same type? Let's explore it. Replace the supply voltage, frequency, resistance, inductance, and so on. So basically what this means is that it will formulate more or less the same statement of this particular question, but the whole context and whole phrase or whole logic would remain exactly the same. But if you don't want it and you want your test, you want yourself to be tested against a particular variation that varies the questions by, for example, some large context or large meaning, then you can select the number of variations. For example, it is giving you variant type, give the impedance in complex form. For example, it was in real form here and you want it to be complex form, or you want a phasor impedance, for example, then you can test it more yourself, or you can test it against a very advanced type. Or suppose you want yourself to be tested against a particular category and you want a custom input to be given by the user. You can always click here and you can give your own particular set of variation prompt here. So for today's video, we can select it as the same type, and let's scroll down. And for example, this was the second numerical given. Again, a very interesting part that you should not miss is that it has solved this particular portion for you, the original question given by the teacher. And now, for example, for the upcoming quiz, you want yourself to be tested for a different variations of this numerical. Again, you can select the variation from these couple of variations given by GPAI. And for example, now this is the third question, and again, same. And let's just click on the variant type, and we want ourselves to be tested against a slightly more complex and difficult question. So we have selected the variant type, and now going onwards, and this is the fourth question. So once we have given the variations prompt inputs, now it's time to select the generate four problems. Now, once we click on the generate four problems, now it is going to not only solve this main problem, but also the variational problem and also its output as well. So now you can see that the variation has been created for you, and now the draft has been prepared. And if we click on the show results part, now it is still in the process, so give it a slight couple of more moments. So this is the first version that it has created from the questions that you have entered. So again, you can see that the original question, for example, if it was phrased as a series RLC circuit is connected to a 230 volt RMS 50 hertz AC supply. Now the variation question is a series RLC circuit is connected to a 240 volt RMS 60 hertz AC supply. Remember that we chose the same phrase for or the same category of the variation. So again, the question has been phrased more or less in the same manner. Just the readings and the input parameters have been changed. Rather, the type of the question has been kept as constant or rather the same. And not only it has changed the question statement, it has also given you the answer of this variational question as well. So again, you can see that the answer has been provided in a very comprehensive manner. The solution is very clear for you to see. And same for the problem number two, it has given you the first variation. You can check other version as well by clicking on here, and for the problem number three and problem number four. And you can go on and check the other variations as well by clicking on version one, and like clicking on that, it can give you the version number two, version number three, and so on. And there you go. It is I think a very good tool to practice the numericals that has been given by your teacher. And I think this has been a revelation and an exceptional tool too, for all the students to practice. So once you're done with the variations that you have created, you can always export it into a document type. For example, if we click on the export button, there are a couple of file types that have been shown in front of you, and it is also asking you what should you want to include. For example, do you want to include only the problem, the answer, or the solution? And layout, what would be the layout? So again, if we choose PDF and we want everything to be included, let's click on the download button. And once you click on the download button, now give it a couple of moments to generate the PDF file. So let's click on the PDF file, and as you can see, it has been converted into a very neat and comprehensive manner for you to practice. And one thing here I do want to suggest to students of mine, that first try to solve the numericals yourself in order to practice this tool ethically, and then perhaps you can match the answers with the answers generated by GPAI. so that you can practice the questions yourself without looking at the answers. This is very, very important. So this is what we wanted to cover from the GPI problem generator. I hope it is clear that why do we want to use this application. And now for the second part, that is GPAI solver. And this is GPA becomes more familiar. We give it a problem and then it solves it. But again, let's look at the workflow rather than simply saying that it can solve mathematics. So again, similar to GPA problem generator, let's see how and what are the type of numericals that we can solve. So I have compiled a couple of numericals for you to have a look. So first things first, again, this is one of the numericals. And again, you don't have to, upload the Word file every time. You can also copy this numerical from here or from the book, or if you have the book in a soft form, then you can copy the statement of the questions. You paste it over here, and then it is good to go. And once you click the upload button, now it is in the process of uploading the question. And once it is uploaded, let's see whether it can give us a very detailed answer of it or not. So this was a problem rather, control engineering DC motor speed control. A separately excited DC motor is described by the following parameters. And also you can see the whole problem. So this is a very complex problem, and I have tried to come up with a problem that, really tests this particular tool. So as you can see that I want it to develop a mathematical model, and obviously it would require it to compile a couple of equations. So this is a 7-part problem, and now the answer has been given. So first it has given you the answers only, and then proper solution manual is provided. And again, it is with the copy button. So again, the answer is in front of you. It is very, very comprehensive. The equations have been made, the mathematical modeling is right in front of you for you to work with. And again, you can ask some follow-up prompts in order to really clarify these equations. So if you, it really doesn't matter which field are you related to, it can come up with any solutions that you require. And as you can see, that answers are very, very comprehensive. And let's just test another set of modules. So let's go back, and then there are a couple of more prompts that I have generated for you. And so this is, for example, a signals and systems based equation. So again, if you can test it with another system based equation, you can always plug in these equations, and then it can again solve these particular equations within no time at all. So I would again suggest all the audience and everyone watching this video to please go ahead and search out these tools and test these tools against the equations that you want to really test. And then let me know in the comment section that how useful these tools are for you. And so this is again it for today. Please let me know what do you think about GPAI. For me, the most interesting development isn't simply that AI can solve a numerical problem. We have already seen that. The more interesting development is that AI is beginning to understand the structure of a problem well enough to create another problem that tests the same concept. And that opens up some interesting possibilities for learning and teaching. For students, it can mean more practice. For students, it can mean creating more variations of a particular questions. So it really depends upon how you look at it. And that is perhaps where these tools are becoming genuinely interesting. Next week, we are going to explore another GPAI feature that we have already covered on this channel, GPAI Visualizer. But this time, we are going to look at its recent update and see how the improved output can help us create some extraordinary scientific and technical diagrams. So if you're interested in AI tools for education, engineering, research, and productivity, stay tuned. I'll see you in the next